Good afternoon, beautiful people. Happy Sunday and welcome to Royer's World, y'all. We are here to talk about Keisha Cole. This is my story. So, y'all, Keisha Cole did her own movie biopic through Lifetime. Let me tell you, Lifetime does, sorry, y'all. Lifetime does the movies. Like, I have loved thus far everything Lifetime has done. They did the Wendy Williams movie. They are currently also working on Mary J. Blige's something with Mary J. Blige. I'm still trying to catch up and see what that's about, but I'm trying to catch on that. They've done the Clark sisters. I want to say they did a TLC movie as well too. Michael had a movie on Lifetime. I mean, Lifetime is blowing up the biopics, y'all. So shout out to Lifetime. Shout out to Keisha Cole for being able to be so vulnerable to give us her story. Now, you all know Frankie passed away already. I want to say she passed away in 22. I want to say last year she passed away. And Frankie was such a big portion of Keisha's mom. As you know, that is her birth mother. Though she did not grow up with her birth mother, she always loved her birth mother as if she was there taking care of her whole entire life. So before we get into everything, I want to welcome you all into the building. Hey, Black Panthers. Good afternoon, Royer. I just finished eating dinner in the nick of time to watch. Thank you so much for joining me. Hey, Carol. Good afternoon. Blessings to you as well. Happy Sunday to each and every one of y'all. It is Sunday. It is the day that the Lord has made, and we're going to rejoice and be glad in it, okay? So listen, if you watch this movie and you would like to join the conversation, I have dropped the link, so feel free to come on in, and we're going to get started, okay? So, welcome everybody. I thank you for joining me this afternoon. I appreciate your time, and we're going to go straight right into this, okay? So, Keisha Cole, this is my story. First of all, I want to give a shout out to the cast who did an excellent job. I'm just going to share my screen real quick. Here is the cast of the show, everyone. They did an excellent job. Let's see. Let me click into this real quick. Keisha Cole played herself, of course. Debbie Morgan played Keisha's mom. Joseph C. Phillips played her dad. Tony Jackson played Neffy. Brittany Levy played her sister, her other sister. So they did an excellent job. So y'all make sure, if you have not seen this movie, go check this movie out. The cast did a beautiful job. You can find this on Lifetime. So here's all the cast. Cindy Davis played Neffy. Douglas Dickerman played Ron Fair. Andrew played Young Notice. They just did an excellent job in this movie. So shout out to all of the actors. Shout out to Keisha. Shout out to Lifetime. Okay. So excellent job. Let's see. Amen. My pastor had our church on via this morning. Okay. All right now. Praise the Lord, Pastor. All right, y'all. Well, let's get into this. I don't want to hold us up too long. It is Sunday and it is time to be with the family. Okay. So we're going to get right into this. So this is a biopic of the last 30 years of Keisha's life. And, Keisha wanted to come and tell her story. I don't know if you guys watched the commercials, but in between the commercials, she was talking about everybody else has talked about their story. And it's time for her to tell her story. So this premiered yesterday, June 24th on Lifetime. And Keisha Cole is executive producing this movie. Okay. Hey, Aaron, welcome to the building. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. So let's get into this. We open up the movie. Keisha showed up at the church to Frankie's funeral. R.I.P. Rest in peace to Frankie. And so, Frankie, her big dream, her big thing was for all of her family, all of her children, there are 7 children altogether, all of them to be back together in one place at one time on one accord, okay? And so that was able to happen. Unfortunately, once Frankie, went on to be with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Okay. So Keisha's walking into the church, walking down to the casket, and she sees Neffy and her other sister. She says Frankie finally got her wish. They call her Frank the Bank. That is what Keisha opened up calling her, okay? So we jump back to 1997, and shout out to SWV because they are playing Can't Explain Why Your Loving Makes Me Weak. That's see, and they told us on their show that Weak was the better song and they should have been the closer of the show, but that we'll save that for another day. But shout out to SWV, okay? So Keisha is sitting on the stoop of her boyfriend at the time, his house. They're talking about marriage and having kids and family. And, Keisha already has big dreams of becoming a singer. She wants to sing, to be able to save her family, to bring them all back together like Frankie's big wish is, okay? So, Keisha is sitting there talking to the boyfriend. She realizes what time it is. She says she's got to go. Okay. So Keisha goes home. She is staying in her adopted mom's house, Yvonne. Yvonne and her husband adopted Keisha. They took her in. And so she's been living there. So, Keisha goes into the house. She's getting money. She's packing things up. And so Yvonne comes, in the room. And let me open up by saying Yvonne was very hard on Keisha, but I think it was more so tough love outside of anything, more so tough love. So, Yvonne goes into the room and she's like, I not see you and this boy. You don't need to be hanging with this boy because this boy's going to get you pregnant and you don't need to be doing all of that and da 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 da. And Keisha's like, it's not about this boy. We don't even get down like that. I'm going to run some, go out. Well, Yvonne, tells Keisha, you cannot be running in and up and out of my house. When I tell you to do something, you need to do it. My house, my rules. And so Keisha was going to give Frankie some money to see her mom to kind of help her out. So on her way, as she leaves the house, on her way to go, see Frankie, she sees Neferteria in the neighborhood, okay? And so Neffy, is a bit bitter. Neffy, is had a rough life. Everyone else, from what I understand, got adopted except for Neffy. And so, Neffy has been through a lot during this time of, being without her mom. Now, she was the only one that stayed in Frankie's care, if you may, but Frankie really wasn't around much, during her upbringing. So Neffy is, bitter and frustrated. She sees Keisha, what you doing around here? You still worried about that lady talking about Neffy. She don't care about us, Keisha. You need to give up on her. Stop trying to take care of her, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So as Keisha's walking, she's seeing, the drug dealers in the neighborhood. And so people know that Keisha can sing. So they're asking her to sing. They giving her money to sing. And so she's singing and she's going to find her mom. Okay. So, Keisha is dreaming of being a star. She wants to be a big star because she wants to bring all of her family back together to be under one roof. Okay. So Keisha finds her mom. And so, she finds Frankie down at the corner trying to get whatever she needs to get. And so one thing that I will say is that Frankie always expressed how proud she was of Keisha and that Keisha was going to be somebody and go somewhere one day. She was going to blow up and be that singer, to be that girl, okay? So Keisha, takes her mom to go get some food. They're sitting down talking and she's just expressing her love for Keisha. Keisha is expressing to her mom how she cares about her. She's worried about her. She wants her to get better, So Keisha takes $50 to give to Frankie. And Frankie, is excited about this $50 because Frankie ain't worried about, Frankie hasn't been eating. And that was the main reason why Keisha was bringing her the money, because Frankie has been doing the drugs. She's been doing what she do to get the drugs. And so Keisha said, this $50 is for money. This is for your money. Well, somebody in the restaurant that they were eating at said, look, is she going to give $50 to a crackhead? Keisha got upset and punched the gentleman in the face. So Keisha has always been about that life. We learned that early on, that she didn't play no games. She played by her own rules, okay? So she gives her mom the $50. She tells her this is for food and for you to take care of yourself, okay? Let's see. Keisha is just really, really in a place where she wants her mom to be healthy and to be able to mother her. Because though she appreciates what Yvonne has done for her, It's nothing like a mother's love. It's nothing like a mother's care, okay? So Keisha comes home from, being with Frankie and spending time with Franklin, helping Frankie. Well, when she goes to unlock the door, the locks have been changed, baby. Yvonne changed the lock. Yvonne comes to the door and says, "So you thought you was coming up in here tonight? Not tonight." She takes Keisha's trash bag, gives it to Keisha, said, "You can't stay here if you ain't gonna follow my rules." And she puts Keisha out the house. So Keisha goes by the pay phone. She calls a couple of people. She ends up getting in contact with Neffy. She asks Neffy, can she come and stay with her? She goes to stay with Neffy, okay? So we move on a little bit further into the movie. And so Keisha's at Bible study. She's trying to get something from God. Keisha is believing that she has this voice that God is going to use to, make her money and be able to take care of her family. So at the end of Bible study and prayer, the pastor asks if there's anyone that needs a special prayer. And Keisha volunteered to stand up, and she came down to the altar for her special prayer. And so the gentleman asked, "What are you praying for?" Her prayer was that for God to use her and her voice to sing to the world so that she can take care of her family. The pastor prayed, the saints prayed, they stood in agreement, and Keisha, got her prayer, the saints celebrated, and everybody was happy about that, okay? So we move on into 1998, and so that was the 97, okay? So we're going into 1998, and Keisha sees her brother, which is Yvonne's son, because Yvonne has birth children. So, she sees her brother at this party, and he's talking to Keisha, talking about, Keisha, we miss you. Why you haven't been home? We've been calling you. You got mail at the house. You need to come by the house. Keisha expresses she can't live there no more. Yvonne kicked her out because she don't want to follow Yvonne's rules. She just wants to try to help her mom, but she just can't live there anymore. Keisha talked about she's tired of seeing people hide. She's tired of, being around just this lifestyle. She's just ready to glow up. She's ready for something big, okay? So she talks to him about moving back to LA, but she can't move back to LA because she really doesn't have the money. He volunteers to go, but they're just not really in a place financially where they can get the money, right? So moving into the next scene, Keisha's dad, finally gets in contact with her and tells her she has mail at the house. So Keisha goes by the house. Yvonne opens the door, what you doing here pretty much. And so she said her dad, called her and told her she had mail. Dad comes to the door and lets Keisha on in, okay? So Keisha goes to the mail. It's from social services, okay? Now, y'all remember Keisha was adopted by Yvonne. Social services had a check for $14,000. $14,000, y'all. $14,000, okay? And she decided then that this was her ticket out and back to LA, okay? She wanted to go back to LA to get her music career started, okay? So Yvonne is like, I don't want you to go. You don't need to blow this money on Frankie. You need to take care of yourself, da 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 da. And I think more so, like I said, Yvonne is not frustrated with Keisha. She loves Keisha so much that she wants the best for Keisha. And sometimes some parents see tough love as the best love. But Keisha says she going and can't nobody stop her. Yvonne walks off. And so Keisha's dad is very supportive of Keisha going forward and pushing towards this music career that she has a goal of. So, she tells her dad she's going to move to LA and get this career going, okay? So before Keisha leaves for LA, she goes to find Frankie. She finds Frankie at some random place, hotel, I want to say. And so she's knocking on the door. Frankie answers and she says, "Hey, baby, what's up? I got guests over here, and Frankie doing her thing." And so Keisha lets her know that she's leaving. She's going to LA and she wants her mom to go with her. "Come on, mom, come to LA with me. I'm going to take care of us. We're going to get you out of this lifestyle." Frankie's not ready to go. Frankie has a true addiction. She's in this lifestyle and it's got a hold on her. She's fighting these demons. And so, Keisha's begging her to leave. And so Frankie, tells her friend that she'll be back and she goes outside. She tells Keisha, "You go head to LA. Once you get settled and you get things going, I will come once everything is good, okay?" So she gives her a kiss. She goes on back. Keisha gets into the car and heads to LA, okay? So we're going into 1999. Keisha has gotten to the hotel. She's in LA. She's settling in. She's recording her music. She's staying at the Holiday Inn. She's calling record labels left and right, trying to get people to hear her music. She's created a demo CD. I mean, Keisha really was putting in the work to be somebody and to go somewhere. She woke up and paid attention, like Sister Mary Clarence told us. Okay, all righty. So, she's running low on money at this time. Keisha's been in LA for a year or two, and nothing's popping. Okay, so Keisha gets invited to a party by someone at the hotel that she was staying at. And the gentleman says, listen, it's going to be a hope. Hey, Fifi, welcome into the building. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you for coming by. Let's see what you're saying, Black Panthers. I'm a witness of those types of demons will stay on you until the person acknowledges they have a problem and they are willing to receive help. That is totally true. I totally agree with that. Black Panthers also said Neffy was a hot mess. I still can't give her anything more than that. She acted like, in my opinion, her sister owed her something. I totally agree. Neffy has a lot of bitterness, as I said. Neffy went through a lot. And I can say this from Iyanla Vanzant. She was AR'd. She was taken advantage of. She was SA'd, y'all. A lot of things happened to Neffy while Frankie was in the streets doing what she was doing, fighting her demons, and giving into her demons. So Neffy, in my opinion, never healed from the childhood trauma that followed her throughout the years, okay? Hey, Mama Toria, welcome into the building. I am watching now, so I'll catch your live later on. I appreciate it. Y'all make sure you're hitting that like button as you're coming through. Even if you're not staying, hit that like button for your boy. I greatly appreciate it. All righty. So Keisha gets invited to a party with a bunch of record execs, a bunch of record labels. And so she goes to the party. She brings her demo. So we're in 2000. We're in the 2001, 2002, that era right around there, okay? Let's see. Oh, wow. I didn't see that part. I didn't see that part. I really feel bad. Oh, which part didn't you see, Black Panthers? I'm sorry. Let me know which part you didn't see that I'm talking about. So she gets invited to the record label. She goes. She takes her demo. While at the party, she's talking to record producers. She's trying to get her thing out. And so she runs into a record producer named Ron. And Ron, she walks up to him and said, hey, he said, I've heard a lot about you. She gives him his demo. And this is the thing about this generation, about Neffy. Okay, yes. So if you go back and if you watch Iyanla Vanzant Fix My Life, I want to say the first episode, because she was on there like 2 or 3 times. The first one, she kind of talked about it. I want to say Neffy also talked about it on their show with her mom, when she kind of opened up to her mom about everything that was going on. So Neffy, not Neffy, sorry. So Keisha gives her demo to the gentleman. He says, I can't wait to hear it. She said, you don't have to wait. She busts out singing. Now, that's the difference between this generation and the generation before. The generation before, they didn't have the big phones and the iPads and the iPod and all of that. You had to be ready with your demo CD. You had to be ready to display your talent right then and there. Keisha opened up with love. Never knew what I was missing. Sorry, y'all. I ain't been singing all day. This is the first time I'm really talking all day, so I don't have no real throat. But I knew once we start kissing, I found you. And so everybody claps at the party. They're shocked. They're amazed at the beautiful voice that she has, has, and what she has given to the people. So everybody was an overapplaud. They, were overjoyed to hear her sing. Okay. So, Ron says he'll be in touch. And so he goes on. Well, there was another gentleman standing next to Ron who claims to be a record exec. And so he said to Keisha, you look like you in a rush. You ain't a patient type of chick. I can put you on. I've blown up so many other artists. I can blow you up too. Well, Keisha said, well, hold on. Let me run to my car and get my demo. He said, well, instead of going to the car and get your demo, how about you come to my house and we can play it? Keisha told him, I may be my mother's child, but I am not her mistakes. And to keep it pushing, don't even follow behind, okay? He said, I don't follow. She said, don't follow me behind either, okay? So we're going into 2003. Keisha's working at the salon. She's doing someone's braids. I think it was a barbershop she was at. And so Ron walks into the barbershop. And Ron and said, "Well, Keisha, you're a hard girl to find. I've been looking all over you, okay? Looking all over for you." And so, he asks Keisha to step outside. So they go outside, and so Ron says, "Your voice has been stuck in my head for the past year." Okay? He says, "I've been looking for you, and I'm glad I found you." He said, "I would like to offer you a deal with A&M Records, okay?" He promises to walk her through everything, that it's going to be a smooth transition. He's super excited about it, and he, wants to sign her. Keisha's overexcited. She's super excited. She's like, "Yes, I'm going to sign the deal. I can finally quit this job. I can come." He's like, "Hold up, hold up, hold up. Don't quit your job. Do you have an attorney? Do you have lawyers? Like, what do you got going?" Okay. So Keisha's like, "Well, I don't have none of that." So Keisha's like, "I got to keep this job, but I appreciate you for coming by and, saying that you believe in me and you're going to sign me. Okay." So Keisha goes back into the salon. She tells everybody she got the deal. And so the young lady in the chair was like, "Okay, well, you got your deal, girl, but you going to finish my braids?" She was like, "Yeah, I ain't going nowhere because I got to make this money. I got to get a lawyer. I got to get, all of this stuff." Well, there's always a ram in the bush, y'all. God always provides. He always provides, okay? Well, there just happened to be a manager sitting in the next chair next to her, okay? And so the manager, says, "Congratulations, it's time to celebrate." And she's like, "I'll celebrate when I get my money." And so he was like, she said, "I need a lawyer, I need an attorney." He said, "Well, you're in luck because I'm a manager. I've been managing music people and I can help you out." And she said, "Well, can you help me pay these bills? Can you help, me get on my feet until I can get my advance, get this money?" And so he says, "I'll do you one better. I'll book you for a show and you can make $10,000. 10,000, 10,000." And so Keisha was like, "Okay. Well, I'm Keisha Cole." He said, "My name is Matt Haley, I believe it was Matt Haley." And so, she said, "Well, you cover my bills, you cover everything. We'll have a deal, okay?" And so, they go on from there. So that is how Matt, I believe she calls him Manny, got his position as her manager, okay? So this was happening. This goes into the 2004, 5, 2006 era, okay? So, hey, Auntie Robin, welcome into the building. Thank you for stopping by. Fifi, let's see. Yes, Auntie Robin, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Thank you so much, everyone. So, we're going into 2006. Keisha signs her deal, and she begins her record. She begins her recording. Excuse me, we're going in 2005. She begins recording her first album. She called her mom, Frankie, to let her know that she signed her deal because, like Frankie said, you go get settled, get your thing going, and once you get your deal signed, call me. I'll come. So she calls Frankie. She doesn't know if this is the same number that Frankie has, but there was no answer. She left a message to Frankie. So she continues on recording her music, and putting everything into her new project, okay? So the album goes platinum, y'all. The album goes platinum, and we're having a party, okay? So they're all at Keisha's house. Now, like I told y'all, Keisha has 7 siblings, and they just found another sibling, which is a sister to Neffy and Keisha. And so Keisha has finally made it, and she's getting ready for this party. She's calling her mom, trying to figure out where Frankie is. Frankie's not answering the phone, because she wants Frankie to come to this record deal. I mean, come to this platinum party, because her record has gone platinum. Well, Neffy's like, "Give it up, Keisha. Mama don't care about you. Mama, has been doing what she doing. She ain't ready. Give it up. Let her go. You got your happiness. You got what you wanted. It's here. Celebrate being the moment, okay?" So, they found their new sister. They're picking out dresses to wear for Keisha's party, okay? Keisha's calling her manager still trying to figure out where Frankie is. Well, Frankie never shows up, okay? So Keisha gets to the party. She begins, her speech to thank God. She talks about her testimony and how she prayed, that God would use her voice to blow up over the world, blow up around the world and take care of her family. And so it finally came to pass. So, she shouts out her mom who wasn't able to make it to the party, but she's still giving her props. And that's one thing that I will say. I love the way she never gave up on Frankie. Everybody else kind of threw Frankie to the side, letting Frankie do what she wanted to do. Keisha consistently worried about Frankie. If that's not a mother's love, a daughter's love for a mother, I don't know what is. I really, really don't. Okay. So the party ends. Keisha's going back to her place with her sisters. And so guess who's standing outside of the apartment building? Frankie herself. Frankie's standing there, and Keisha's like, "I've been calling you. Where was you at?" She was like, "I ain't worried about coming to no party. I don't need no party. I'm here to see my babies, okay?" And so, she hugs Keisha, she hugs Neffy, and so the other sister is there. She was like, "I don't know if you remember who I am, but," she was like, "I know who you are, child." And so she gives her a hug, and so they go up to the hotel room or to the building, and they kind of close out the rest of the night. So, Frankie was just so happy to be there with Keisha. Keisha's happy to have her mom, and so Frankie and Keisha, they're laying in the bed that night and they're just having casual conversation. And so, Keisha, Frankie yet again says, "I always knew you would be a big star. You know where you got your singing from. You got it from me." And so Keisha says, "You used to sing, mama." And so Frankie busts out in a nice little song, "Butterflies in the Sky. La da la da da." And so, she was like, "I didn't know you sang," and so they closed out that scene singing together. Keisha's like, "Mom, I need you. I want you." And so, Frankie is explaining to Keisha she's got demons that she's fighting, and she's doing her best that she can to fight those demons, okay? So Keisha moves in her mom with her. And so, the cleaning lady, she's cleaning the house. She's doing her due. And so the cleaning lady comes to Keisha with some drug paraphernalia. She finds a crack pipe. And so Keisha, it's like, "Oh my goodness, I cannot believe this." She calls Neffy, calls a family meeting, and all the family comes over to the house, okay? So they get there to have a family intervention for Frankie. Everybody is concerned about Frankie. They want her to get off these drugs. They want her to live a better life. They are like, "You have children to be with that you have missed out on their lives. You have grandchildren who are here who want to meet their grandmother, and they want Frankie to get out of this drug habit." So they're having their intervention. Frankie doesn't feel like she had a problem. Keisha's like, "Mama, my house cleaning lady found this in the house. You bringing drugs in my house?" Frankie's like, "I ain't bring no drugs in your house. It's paraphernalia. You said paraphernalia. I don't even do drugs like that no more. I don't even know, da 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 da." So, Neffy goes off on her mama and expresses to her that Keisha been trying to take care of you. She's trying to do better for you. Don't you want better for yourself, Mom? Don't you? And so Frankie finally gives up and says that she will try and go to rehab. Okay. So we're going into 2006, and Keisha is pitching a show to BET all about her family. Okay. So Keisha goes to pitch the reality show to BET, and BET is like, "Well, we need, people want to see Keisha. People want to see your real family problematic issues." And so Keisha tells, them that her mom, has been on drugs, but she's in rehab. She's fighting to get out. She talks about her siblings, and, she talks about, finding the new, just everything that Keisha's got going on in her life. And so BET is like, "Okay, we can work with this." They ordered 6 episodes of the first season. Keisha comes home to tell everyone that BET has ordered the show, and they're gonna name it after her new album. Okay, all righty. So Keisha's mom, they're at a photo shoot. They're taking pictures for this new show, preparing to release the show. And so Keisha finds out that Frankie is now drinking. Frankie, now she's put down the drugs, but now she done picked up drinking, okay? So while in the midst of the photo shoot, she's getting her hair and makeup prepped, Daniel Gibson comes in, which is a client of Keisha's makeup artist. And so he came in early. I guess he heard about Keisha being there. He had the little thing for Keisha. So he's spitting his game, doing his due, for Keisha or whatever. And so, they flirting with each other, and they get vibes going and things of that nature, okay? So while Keisha is filming Frankie is still doing the drugs, okay? Still doing, drinking, still having her way. And so they're still filming the show, and this is kind of that first season of getting everything going. Well, Daniel proposes, okay? He proposes to Keisha on the show. Keisha says yes. Well, right after that, Frankie gets arrested. Frankie really struggled with this demon of drugs, y'all. And I love that Keisha never gave up on her mom through her career, through her marriage, through the show. I mean, she let it all hang out there and she still supported her mom through all of this, y'all. So I'm going to stop right here. Does anybody have any comments? Those of you who are watching, I want to say thank you so much for watching. We're about halfway in the through this, but I just wanted to make sure that there were no questions, or if I missed anything, please let me know. As I stated, I have dropped the link down in the bio. Let me go and highlight that. I'm sorry. I have dropped the link. So if you watch this episode and you want to come in and just join in on the conversation, feel free to join in. Click the link. The link is right there down below. Okay. It doesn't look like anybody have any comments or anything, so I'm gonna keep on going. Okay. So we're moving into 2011. And so Keisha and Daniel, they've gotten married. Okay. They've had their first baby. Frankie is locked up. Keisha is at Yvonne's house. She's had the baby, introducing everybody to the baby. They're having a family time, and so Keisha, she asks about Frankie, and when she's not sure when she's getting out and things of that nature. Well, guess who pops up in the scene? Oh, looks like we got some comments. Okay. Let's see. Black Panther said, I thank God every day that my mama never gave up on me, but prayer steadfast for me. She prayed and stayed steadfast for me, and God had mercy on me. Praise God. God has always grace and mercy, and a lot of us are still living on the prayers of our grandparents, our great grandparents, our mothers, our fathers. We living on those prayers, y'all, and those prayers bring us through. Fifi, I think Debbie Morgan did a great job. I heard she was picked by Keisha. She did an excellent job. I totally agree. She did a really, really good job. She portrayed Frankie very, very well, especially when she was talking about it's a man down situation. Oh my God. Y'all, I used to love when Frankie would say her little lines and stuff. Y'all, she did amazing. Amen, amen, and amen. All righty. So, let's see. Frankie walks in the door, right? As Keisha was saying, she didn't know when Frankie was going to get out. Well, Frankie walks in and she's like, what's up, people? I'm out. I'm here. And, Keisha gets upset because she hasn't heard from Frankie. Frankie just walks in and acts like everything is just supposed to pop back to normal. This is my house. This is my grandchild, da, 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 da. And so, Frankie goes off on Keisha because she's expecting this big old welcome. I know I had a praying grandmother. You and me both, Fifi. You and me both had real praying grandmothers, okay? So Frankie is really struggling with her demons, okay? And, she's not able to really understand that you just can't pop in and out of our lives and pop back in as if everything is normal, things have been good. It doesn't work like that. So, she goes to talk to Keisha because Keisha walked out of the room. She got upset. So she goes to talk to Keisha and lets Keisha know she is struggling with her demons. She didn't want Keisha to give up on her, and she's not giving up on Keisha, and she wanted them to be together. Frankie stated she gave them away. Or Keisha felt like she gave them away because Frankie didn't love them. And that really wasn't the case. Frankie told Keisha that she gave them away out of love, okay? Frankie said that there's two sides of her. There's the side that she wants to be, and then there's the side of who she is. And I wanted to dive into that for a second, and I highlighted that over here on my paper because we all have two sides of us. There's the side of us who we are and what we're struggling with, and then there's the side of who we desire to be, and we can be, but that struggle sometimes is so hard to let go. Those demons that we fight with, those demons of sexual immorality, those of us who have sexual, issues, sex addictions, those of us who have drug addictions, those of us who have drinking problems, those of us who have cheating problems, who have lying problems, who have stealing problems. I truly believe that all of us who have those big issues, and not to say one is bigger than the other, but all of us who have those personal demons, we fight those demons on a regular basis. And some can surpass those demons, but some will struggle with those demons every single day of their life. They will. And Frankie was one of those individuals. But what I loved about Frankie is that though she struggled with her demons, she continued to fight for her children. She continued to fight for her grandchildren. She continued to fight to try to be there the best way she could. So that was very important to me. That was very important to me, okay? So Keisha set Frankie up with a job on the radio because she felt like Frankie needed some purpose. She felt like if Frankie had some real purpose in her life, that it would keep her away from the drugs and the drinking and that lifestyle, okay? So she set her up on the radio. Excuse me. And so Keisha's still recording her album. She's married to Daniel. They're taking care of their baby, and Keisha's having issues with scheduling and keeping things up in her life. And so it gets to a point where, her marriage is putting a strain on her marriage, trying to keep up with her career, trying to keep up with her, birth mom, her adopted mom, her baby, her siblings, recording the show, touring, her celebrity life. All of that is just catching up to Keisha and Daniel. And it is making Daniel unhappy in their marriage. And so Daniel has been unfaithful in their marriage a few times. And so, they're fighting through that. She's trying to keep Daniel happy. She's trying to keep food on the table every night. She's trying to do those things that, women are taught to do, be at the house and home, take care of the house, But though Keisha was there physically, her mental presence was not there. They were having dinner one night and she was on the phone. Well, it's not really family dinner if you taking calls and meetings and stuff just because you're physically there. If you're not mentally and emotionally present, certain people will astray. And that doesn't make it right at all. That does not make it right to stray because someone is not present for you when you need them. But for some people, that's what happens, okay? So she was just trying to juggle everything with her job and her family. And Daniel feels like he's losing his wife. Keisha, like I said, she's traveling. She's filming the show. She's dealing with her mom. She's trying to be a mom, be a wife, and he's unhappy, okay? So Keisha comes out. We're in 2014 now. We're in Atlanta. Keisha comes outside to her family. And she lets them know that season 4 is a no-go. She's not doing season 4. She's put all of this out on TV, and it has become a backlash. Frankie is still dibbling and dabbing in the drugs, And so she felt that it would be better, for her marriage, for her mom, and for her family if they just canceled the show. So she throws season 4's contract in the fire, and she's like, we're done. Keisha is just like, I need to save my marriage. I need to save my family. And so Neffy is like, well, here it is yet again, all about Keisha. You're doing this for you. Why, what about us? What about our family? What about the money? And to me, Neffy was being very, very selfish. Keisha has done everything that she could for you, Neffy, for her mom, Frankie, for the new sister that she's found. She has done everything for each and every one of you. And now it's time for Keisha to be selfish and take care of her husband, take care of her immediate family, okay? So everybody gets up and storms off and has an attitude. Well, Missy Vaughn stays and Keisha's husband, Daniel, stays. Well, Daniel's on the phone texting someone and it looks a little suspicious. Keisha asks, well, who you texting? Oh, it's just my manager. It ain't nothing serious. We're just trying to handle business, okay? So Keisha decides that she's going to give her husband a romantic night. She's putting rose petals on the bed and he's in the shower. She's all lingerie'd up and trying to get sexy for him. And so I believe he had just came back from travels because then she goes to empty his luggage bag. Well, as she's emptying the luggage bag, what does Keisha find? She finds some lingerie. a pair of a pair of thongs that are not hers. And so she goes over to find where her husband is. He's in the shower. He's like, "Hey, babe, can you come scrub me down?" And she's like, "So what are these?" And he's like, "Babe, it's not what you think it is. You know, it was just a one-time thing. I made a mistake. It's not gonna happen again." And she was like, "Yeah, that's what you said the last few times. You know, I'm tired of this. I'm good on this." And he's like, "What can I do to make it better, baby? What can I do? What can I do?" And he was like, "Well," she said, "you can divorce me. You can give me a divorce." And so now she goes on the verge of this divorce, situation with her husband, Daniel. Okay. Whew, y'all, this was a lot. This was a lot. And I can't imagine the stress that was on Keisha. Okay. So Keisha goes over to to Neffy's house to let her know that, her family's falling apart. Her and Daniel are getting a divorce. Well, she walks into a surprise. There's cameras, Neffy and Frankie on the back patio, and they're filming. And so Keisha walks in and like, "Well, what's going on here?" And she said, "Well, this is the Neffy and Frankie show. They snuck off and got a deal on their own, and they now have their own show." So, Keisha gets upset and is like, "I'm done. If this is what y'all want to do, y'all do it. I'm good on y'all." She walks out. Frankie's going off. Neffy's going off on her. And I just felt like both of them have very strong problems and issues to go off on the individual that brought you to where you are today. If it wasn't for Keisha, y'all wouldn't have had the opportunity to be able to go find a camera crew and a company to film y'all to have your own show. So, going into the next scene, Keisha is preparing for a show. She looks stressed out. She looks exhausted. She looks tired. And so she goes out on the stage and she opens up the show and, she starts singing. And you can kind of tell that she was not in good health at all. She's just not feeling well. Her voice is not sounding right. She says, "Sorry, y'all, I got to stop the show. I can't do this." She walks off the stage. She goes backstage. She's talking to Manny. He's like, "What's going on?" She said, "My chest. I feel like I'm about to have a heart attack." So she goes to the back, back to her dressing room, and she's like, "I can't catch my breath. I feel like I can't breathe." The paramedic nurse comes in and she said, "What's wrong? Can you breathe?" She said, "No, I just feel like I'm about to have a heart attack." She said, "Well, ma'am, it looks like you're about to have a panic attack." And Keisha's like, "A panic attack? Like, what the heck is a panic attack? I'm not, what is that?" Okay. So Keisha has a panic attack because of all of the stress with the divorce, with her family, with her mom, just everything, all of that stress and burden has now fallen on Keisha and it's giving her heart issues. Okay. So she had a panic attack, everyone. So we go into 2017. And so Keisha calls Neffy and she lets Neffy know that the divorce has been finalized. Everything is over. And, Neffy got upset. Frankie is back on the streets. Neffy shares with Keisha. The show got canceled because Frankie went back in the streets. And now Neffy's trying to figure out where her next check is coming from as well. Okay. So Keisha went on to go find Frankie. And so she found one of Frankie's friends, and she stopped to ask, "Have you seen Frankie?" They let her know, "Yeah, she's down there." Well, Frankie's hanging out with one of her little boy toys again. And, Keisha goes up and was like, "Hey, what's going on? Where you been? I've been looking all over for you." She's like, "Keisha, I'm good. I'm good." Keisha's like, "I want you to come with me. Let's go." She gives the gentleman that he's with some money. She's like, "He don't want your money. He's good. He got his own money." Of course, she's all messed up and, in her things. And so Keisha's like, "You don't want to come with me, mama? You don't want to come with me?" She's like, "No, I'm good." And so Keisha had to go on without her mom. Keisha's tired of trying to get Frankie to be on the straight and narrow. And she's like, "If you want to be back on the streets again, mama, then that's on you." And so Keisha goes on and gets in her car, okay? So after that scene, Keisha's at a little lounge and there's a gentleman giving some poetry, okay? Now, this gentleman's name is Nico, and he's giving his little poetry and poetic justice little thing and everything. "Hey, Radiance, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. Listen, girl, you caught me on that Keisha earlier." So, one of my really, really close families, I call them friend family. Family, her name is Keisha, and she spells it Kisha. So that's why I was spelling Keisha that way, because I was thinking of that Keisha and not Keisha Cole. But thank you so much for helping me out. I truly appreciate you so much. That's why I love the community. Y'all listen, anytime y'all see something misspelled or it don't look right or sound right, y'all make sure y'all leave it in the comment section so I can go back and check myself. Okay. So thank you so much, Radiance. So she's at this little lounge area or whatever. And so Nico's spitting his little game, spitting his poetic justice situation going. And so, at the end of it, she walks up, she's chilling at the bar. And so he walks over to the bar and was like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Pretty much, spitting his little game. And so, he says, come join me at Spontaneous. And she said, what's Spontaneous? He said, well, it wouldn't be spontaneous if I told you. So they go, and Spontaneous, to me, it looks like a little Mexican salsa restaurant. And they go and dance and have a good time, and they laugh and enjoy their time together, okay? So her and Nico, they ended up falling in love. So we're moving into 2019 now. And like I said, y'all, this is a conversation in a movie over the span of 30 years of Keisha's life, of everything that has been going on, okay? So in 2019, Keisha's showing up late to recording sessions. She's not showing up to red carpet. She's showing up to events late. She's just really slacking. And so Manny's like, where you been? You ain't handling your business. We've been looking for you. We've been checking for you. And she says, I'm doing me. I'm in love. I'm trying to, find myself. But he's like, you do this every time you get in a relationship. You let a man, take over your life. You let a man take over, your whole being. And now you with Nico, and this man is significantly younger than her, and he has her attention. She's not showing up to meetings. She's not showing up to call times, and it's making her suffer career-wise, okay? So Keisha's like, listen, I just want to be happy. I want to be in love. Anytime I find someone, y'all always nagging me, talking about I'm not handling my business. I'm not doing this, not doing that. And so, Manny's like, we just want you to be your best. We want you to be where you're supposed to be so we can continue to take you to the top. Keisha's like, whatever. Let's just go on and get in here and record. I've done 6 albums. I've done everything I'm supposed to do. Let's get in here and record and just leave me alone, okay? Ooh, I should have brought me some water, y'all, because I'm a little winded, okay? So Keisha has moved Nico into her home. And so Nico's coming in and out like this is a gas station. He coming and going as he pleasing. And, it has begun to irritate Keisha. Now, as you know, Keisha just got out of she was married from 2011 to 2017. So she's been in a marriage for 6 years, 7 years almost now. And, she's been through the cheating experience and all of that. So she sees the signs when she sees them, okay? So, she's like, hey, where you been? You just now getting home. You come home late. You leave early. You in and out the house. What's going on with you? And Nico's like, why are you checking me? I'm home. I come home. I'm here. I'm doing what you asked me to do. I'm making sure that everything's in order, da-da-da-da-da. And she's finally realizing that he is causing her to lose her focus. You're worried about him coming in and out, whatever hours he come in. You missing your sessions. You cooking him dinner. You missing party. She's trying to cater to him, but while you're trying to cater to this man who's not catering to you, your career is failing. So, they realize that things are just not going to be well with them together. And so, they're like, well, at least we created something beautiful together. They created a baby boy together, and so, they're going to move forward with their relationship. Okay. So Keisha's talking on the phone to her adopted mom as we move into the next scene. And she's letting her know, that her and Nico broke up. And look, Miss Evelyn Shady, she's talking about, what was it, the age difference, baby? I was like, I said, Mama, you so petty. You so petty. I do have a water, y'all. Give me 2 seconds. Hold on, because I need to sip of water. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. Woo. Okay. So she's talking to her adopted mom, Miss Evelyn. And so Keisha felt Evelyn loved her from birth. Let's see. Keisha felt Evelyn loved her from birth. Um, Keisha felt that she loved her birth children more than she loved Keisha. I'm sorry. And so Evelyn was like, I have accepted you as if you came out of my own womb. I love you, Keisha. I support you 1000%. And Keisha's still trying to figure out who her dad is, okay? So, she was like, I called you because I think we have a prospect of who your dad may be. But we really don't know. We have to wait for him to take the DNA test to see if he's your biological father. Well, Keisha said, well, I'll call Frankie and, hit her up and see what's going on. Well, Miss Evelyn said, well, you'll have to find out where Frankie is, when you can talk to her, because Frankie checked herself in rehab again. Okay. So Virgil Hunter is the gentleman that Keisha is assuming her birth dad is. And so, Keisha went to go see Frankie. She finds Frankie, goes to see Frankie. And so Frankie, is trying to do better. She's pushing forward to try to get better, as far as getting off the drugs, stopping the drinking, and she's in rehab. And so Frankie, for some reason, kind of earlier back in the movie, I may have forgot to mention this, while Keisha was sitting having dinner with her mom in that first scene, she asked who her dad was. And she said, I don't know. And I don't know how to tell you because I don't know which guy it is. So, Frankie was really living that lifestyle, y'all. Okay. So she said, well, is his name Virgil? And Frankie's like, I don't know. Why do you feel like you need to know who your father is? I've checked myself in the rehab. I'm trying to get better for you and the boys. I want to be that granny to those boys. I want to be that mom to you that you felt, you always wanted me to be. Okay. So Keisha explained that she tried to help her mom, Frankie. Frankie explained that this is not your battle to fight. This is not your war. This is my battle. And I have to fight it until I win it. Period. Point blank. Okay. So now we're going into 2021. It's Tobias's B-Day. Tobias is Nico and Keisha's son together. And so Frankie is at the home with them, celebrating Tobias's birthday. Frankie seems to be doing much better from the looks of it. She's turning 60. And so, she wants to celebrate. So Keisha said, I can't be there on your actual birthday, but, the day after your birthday, we'll come out, we'll celebrate. Me and the boys, we're going to celebrate you and everything's going to, have fun. Okay. But little do we know, Frankie is still having issues with her drug abuse. Okay. So going into this last scene, this was so sad. So it's Frankie's B-Day. It's her birthday. And they have a scene of Frankie at her house, and Frankie is getting high on drugs again. Unfortunately, Frankie in this situation ended up overdosing. She overdosed and lost her life on her 60th birthday. This was truly, truly sad, very, very traumatic, y'all. And so that's when we kind of jump back to the very beginning scene of being at the funeral and all of the family being back together on one accord. Keisha explaining, that she loved her mom. She did her best by her mom. She really desired for her mom to get off the drugs. But, it just ended the way it did, And so, Keisha dedicated this movie to her mom. It just really, to me, it ended on a sad note, in my opinion, because the one person that she wanted her whole life and was trying to help her a whole life ended up losing her life to her own demons and her own fight, y'all. But what I love, like I said, is that Keisha never gave up. She was there to the very end to try to support her mom the best she could, y'all. So that was, like I said, they ended at the funeral, and they ended the scene with everyone standing outside the movie, with everybody standing outside of the church as they were putting the casket into the car. They lifted up balloons, and she said, "Mama, I love you," and she thanked her mom for everything that she did. She wasn't the mom that Keisha desired her to be, but she was the best mom that she could be. She was there when she could be. And so, at the end, they did a montage, of letting everyone know that she dedicated this movie to her mom. They showed a picture of her and Frankie. It was a beautiful ending, a beautiful movie altogether. It was nice to see the ups and downs of Keisha Cole's life. A lot of it I kind of knew about, some of it I did not know about. But I truly, truly, truly enjoyed this Lifetime biopic on Keisha Cole. This is my story, y'all. So that is the end of the show. That is the end of this review, you all. Please let me know in the comment section, excuse me, if you have any questions. Did I miss anything? Y'all just give me a little rundown real quick. Let me know you still here with me before I close out, please. Let's see. Let me look. Let's see. We got 21 likes. Okay. So thank you so much for hitting that like button, y'all. This was really, really good. Yeah, I truly, truly enjoyed this show, this movie. Keisha kind of gave a little background history, in between the scenes of just like, her and her mom and how much she misses her mom and, just being a part of her mom's life, everything that her mom did for her. She said a thank you to Miss Evelyn who helped raise Keisha. There were so many people a part of Keisha's journey, who helped her be who she is today. And I felt like it was beautiful for Keisha to add in all of her family to tell the story as it really, really was. Sometimes people tell their story, the way they want it to be told and how they want to see it. But I truly believe that this was the truth of Keisha's story and the way it was. Okay. Thank you, Auntie Diva. I appreciate the support and love. Y'all, please remember to hit that like button. Listen, this week, for real, y'all, this week at Auntie Diva, I need you to be in agreement with me. We are doing the last episode of Dear Mama. We're going to do it and we're going to close it out. We've been dragging this out. We were supposed to do it Friday, and I had a little bit of a family emergency going on, so we didn't get to do it Friday. But this week, we are doing the final last episode of Dear Mama. So y'all make sure y'all join us this week. I want to say we'll probably do it Thursday, probably more so Thursday. I'll talk to Diva, and once we get the final day, we're actually going to do it, and we're going to review the last episode. For those of you who watch Dear Mama, we're going to bring you into the building so that we can have the final episode. When 2 or 3 come together, he shall, okay? It shall happen. It shall happen, okay? Okay, Black Pantheress, I'm still here. Royer came and got in my bed because listen, I'm about to get in the bed after this too. It's about to be a storm. A storm. I don't want no more storms. It rained literally every day this week. Literally, I need to go out and walk. But if there are no more thoughts and opinions, I believe I'm going to wrap it up here. Like I said, thank y'all so, so much. Thank you so much for joining me this evening, this afternoon, rather. Sorry. This was a really, really, really great story, a great movie. Keisha did an excellent job. I'm super, super proud of the Keisha Cole story. She came through. She did her thing, y'all. She told her story the way it is, okay? This was Keisha's story, and she ain't letting up on it, y'all. So I'm super happy for her. I'm super proud. Thank you so much for joining me. Y'all make sure you hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to my channel. Royer, how's your date? How was your date? What date? What date did I go on? What date? Did I go on a date? If you're talking about yesterday with myself, I totally enjoyed myself yesterday on my date. Where did I go eat? I went and ate at this place called Boardwalk Billy's. It's like a little bar, restaurant type of vibe. So I went there, more like a sports bar. So I went there. I had Seafood Delight, and it was seafood delicious. I love some seafood, y'all. And seafood has really like been good for my diet. Like it helps go through easily. So I've been having a lot of seafood lately. So I had the Seafood Delight. And then I went out to one of our shopping area centers. And it's a shopping center. It's got ice cream, it's got food, it's got wine tasting, and it's got a park, and they do live music out there. So I stopped by Cold Stones, one of my favorite ice cream places. I love Cold Stones. And I got me cheesecake ice cream with pound cake and gummy bears. Don't judge me. And it was delicious. So I ate that and I sat in the park with a bunch of people, and I actually was listening to Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva, her book review from yesterday. If you missed chapter 2 of Jay Shetty's 8 Rules of Love, y'all, you got to check this book out. Jay Shetty's 8 Rules of Love. We're going over chapter 3 on tomorrow, okay? We're doing chapter 3 tomorrow. So join us tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Next Saturday. Y'all better go take a nap. But we're doing chapter 3 next Saturday, I believe, over on Chronicles of the Gray Hair Divas channel. So 8 Rules of Love by Jay Shetty. How to find it, how to keep it, how to let it go, okay? So y'all make sure you join us next Saturday over there. Rule 2. Here we go. Let's see. They did Rule 2 yesterday. Rules of Love, okay? Jay Shetty. So y'all make sure y'all come and check us out. Yes, I'm going to take a nap, Auntie. Yeah. Y'all check us out next Saturday for this book. You can get this book at Barnes & Nobles. That's where I got mine from. I got mine from Barnes & Nobles. But you can get it on Amazon Prime. You can get it on Audible, all of that. So y'all join us next Saturday. And then also, Auntie Diva, can we commit to next Thursday for Dear Mama, the last review? Let me know if we can commit to next Thursday. I'm down for next Thursday for sure. No matter what comes up, I'm down to do it. Even if we got a pre-record. Well, we won't do a pre-record because we're going to bring the people in. But if something comes up and we need to pre-record it, let me know and we can definitely do that as well. But join us next Saturday for the book. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please hit the like button on this video. Hit the share button as well. Let the people know that we were live talking about the Keyshia Cole story. This is her story, okay? This is her story. I truly enjoyed it. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to my channel, Royaire's World. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell on all. That way you see each and every time I post a video with you in mind. And Auntie Diva said next Thursday will work for Dear Mama, the Afeni and Tupac Shakur, the saga ending, okay? So y'all join us next Saturday. I think I got a little where is it at? Boom. Okay, so join us next Saturday for the final part as we review Dear Mama, the saga of Afeni and Tupac Shakur, okay? Well, y'all, thank you so much for joining me. I love you guys. I may do a little Royaire's Corner a little later on, but I'm going to take me a nap, okay? Oops, didn't mean to show that. Love y'all, appreciate y'all, and I'll catch y'all next time in Royaire's Corner, Royaire's World, Royaire's Life, all of that Royaire, okay? Love y'all, bye!
Royaire's World.